Hey guys, good morning, good evening, wherever you guys are, or good afternoon, wherever you guys are. Doesn't matter. Over here it's nighttime. By the way, happy daylight savings time for everybody in the US. I love it. Um, I've made some trucking videos in the past on some of my other YouTube channels. I'm starting up a new one. I'm putting this on my TaylorMade channel. I think I put a couple of trucking videos on there, but nothing major. If I sound like I'm sick, is because I am. I have I have a viral respiratory infection, which isn't coronavirus. It's like bronchitis or some bullshit like that. As you can tell. um, Guys, I just wanted to give you guys a little word of advice when it comes down to trucking. Okay, I have in a good mindset to say, if you like traveling this country, don't do it married. You know, if you're providing for your family and your wife's going to stay with you and your kids like it and you can take your kids out with you, feel free. Let me turn on another light so you guys can see me better. There we go. Feel free to do it. It's not a big deal. The hard thing is that you kind of have to weigh home time with driving because you're living in a 6x6 cubicle. You guys can see behind me, I have a big sleeper, but literally it only goes back about 4 feet from the driver's seat. So literally, you are in a 6x6 cubicle. Now, living in a truck full time is a little nerve wracking. It can be a little bit, how do I say it? It can be a little bit claustrophobic, I guess. I don't get claustrophobia anymore because I'm used to it. It's like living in an RV basically for me because I used to live in an RV. So I never got claustrophobia real easy. A little bit about me. I live in Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm moving to Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm gonna do the road trip video here in April. I'm moving down there in April. Um, and I just can't keep my throat clear. So if I clear my throat a lot, I'm sorry. Um, you just kind of have to weigh the pros and cons. For you new drivers out there, who are just getting into the industry and going through trucking school and getting ready to get on a trainer's truck, um, I want to give you a little word of advice. It can be rough. Your trainer can be a jerk. Your trainer can be the nicest person in the world. You can make a friend. One thing I can tell you is stick it out with one trainer. I didn't. I regretted it the whole time because the trainer I had for my first trainer was when I was at Swift Transportation. The only reason why I didn't like him is because he didn't have experience. I wanted somebody with a little more experience. That's part of the reason why I left. He was not training me. He was using me for money, which I didn't care for. Um, you just kind of have to, say, a trainer's going to have expectations of how he wants you to drive, how he wants you to back up, how he wants you to, or what freeways he wants you to take, stuff like that. Most of the trucks nowadays usually come with GPS. Now, don't rely on it. Even a Ram McNally tablet, the TND tablet, or the Overdrive 8 Pro, don't rely on it. It's not a good thing. It can get you into some crappy situations where you don't want to be. Um, so, granted, don't rely on it. The other thing, keep your, what is it? Keep yourself, you know, in a position where you feel comfortable driving. If you don't feel comfortable driving on icy and snowy roads, especially out here in the West Coast, like we have it over here till about May, you kind of have to sit here and say, okay, I don't feel comfortable driving on this. Send a delay macro in over your e-log and sit here and say, don't feel comfortable running on this. Roads are too slick to drive. I'm shutting it down. And then find the closest safe haven to shut it down. Um, thing I always told my students, if you need something, wake me up, especially for team driving, because I don't team drive with my students for the first 2 weeks. I want to make sure that you can back. I want to make sure that you can drive the truck properly. I want to make sure you can negotiate your turns properly. I want to make sure you can be able to be able to um, lane change properly when needed to be. The biggest problem I see out here on the road, the two major problems I see is not getting over for maintenance and service vehicles and police officers, and the other option the other thing I always see out here on the road is texting while driving. Guys, you're in an 80,000 pound big rig. Grow the fuck up, okay? It's not important. It's a $10,000 fine in a commercial motor vehicle. It's not worth it. I'm not currently driving right now. I'm parked. That's why I don't use my phone while I'm driving. I turn on music before I leave, and I sit here and I cruise. Okay? I make sure that I'm aware of all my surroundings. I make sure that I go through every single way station if told to, because I have a pre-pass Elite in my truck, and it works fabulously. Granted, the company I work for, we don't have the best CSA score right now, but we're working on that, and we're working on to get our drivers safe. I'm a huge part of that because I want to make sure that I'm okay. I want to make sure that everybody else is okay. Now, another thing that I want to cover, okay? Getting sick out here on the road sucks, especially when you have no money like me right now. I won't get my paycheck till Wednesday. So you kind of have to sit here and make sure, Jesus, dude, really? You're going to haul butt through the parking lot? Sorry. Freaking creep, man. They have a dedicated account here where I'm at. Now, the other thing that you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons about, okay? Throwing your chains is a major part of trucking. Personally, I refuse to throw mine for one reason and one reason only. If you have to throw your chains, it's to get to the next closest safe haven to get yourself out of a sticky situation. Wait till the salt shakers go by. And what I mean by salt shakers, plow trucks. And the other thing, I've been driving for off and on for 6 years. I've just been off and on, just doing what I'm supposed to do, making sure my freight's on time, making sure that I'm healthy and well, trying to lose weight. I see some of these drivers out here, and it disgusts me. I mean, I understand, that you're hungry, but you don't need to gorge yourself. If you order something off the menu, portion it. I was able to make 2 meals out of a dinner that I had last night. The other thing, to keep yourself aware of, make sure your windshields are clean. Make sure it's free of cracks and everything. I do have a crack in my windshield, which I need to get repaired, but I'm going to wait till I go on home time to do that because it's not within driver's view. So I'll get that fixed when I'm on home time. As long as it's not within driver's view of the windshield, you're good. You're safe. You're legal. At least in a personal vehicle, I'm not sure. So we'll just say it's legal. Don't quote me on that. The other thing I suggest any driver get, and I mean any, okay? You could get a cell phone plan that gets service all over the U.S., all over Canada, all over New Mexico, especially for you guys that travel in different countries around here in the U.S. Get a cell phone plan that works in all 3 countries. Verizon is expensive, but they're worth it. The cheaper alternative that runs off of Verizon towers is Straight Talk. That's who I currently go through right now, is Straight Talk, and they're decent. I like them. I get great bars. I get oodles of data. The other thing, to do an early warning system, for other drivers, if there's a wreck up ahead, or if there's a police cop on the side of the road, I'm going to pull this down for you. And most of you new drivers are going to be like, what is that? Well, it doesn't want to come down. Just get a regular CB radio, make sure you have it peak and tuned, to make sure that you get the farthest distance you can. And also, it's nice to chat with some of the other drivers, but you get some of the dickheads out here that don't like to be nice to other drivers, especially if you don't know all the CB lingo. I still consider myself to be a noob over the CB. I admit it straight to them. I sat there and said, listen, I don't have a lot of driving experience. I got about 3.5 years underneath my belt. Been driving off and on for 6, but these guys, some of these older drivers, you'll hear them, yakking over the CB about how all these newer drivers suck and all they want to drive is an automatic. All you are is a steering wheel holder. Well, guess what? They hold that same steering wheel that y'all do. Okay? It don't matter. They're steering wheel holders too. It's their freaking ego. They're trying to talk crap about the newer drivers. Well, guess what? Nobody cares, guys. Don't let them offend you. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys is, when you're out here at the truck stops and you see somebody back in and they're gonna pull, and they're gonna pull back forward to align their truck in a proper spot, make sure you avoid them. Let them do their back first. Don't pull in front of them, because they pull in front of them, they hit you, both y'all are at fault. Okay? That's just day one shit right there. I seriously see a lot of that happening out here on the road, because I don't care for the blocking people, because I gotta get to my spot. That spot's still gonna be there 10 minutes from now as soon as you go and flip around and decide it. So, tough. The other thing, for the newer drivers, if you need help backing, okay, don't be afraid to ask. Go and knock on somebody's door. If they say no, go on and knock on another driver's door. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't let your pride get in the way of asking for some help. It's embarrassing. It is. But it's better than hitting somebody's truck. That's straight up day one stuff. Okay? Don't hit somebody's truck. I've never backed into a truck in my life. I've had backing accidents where I've, hit stuff, but I've never hit another driver's truck. That's the number one thing that every trainer is going to tell you. Get out and look. Not a huge deal. Okay? Another thing that you can sit there and do while you're out here on the road, get all your rewards cards, because you never know when your company's going to sit here and send you to a major fuel stop like a TA or Petro or Pilot Flying J or Love's. You just kind of have to go from there. The only thing I don't like about TA Petro is if you try to sit there and get your rewards card same day, they're going to mail it to you. That's the only thing I don't like about TA and Petro, but such is life. The other thing to do, just make sure you do a proper pre-trip. Okay? I'll do a video on proper pre-trips. Okay? Proper pre-trips are so easy. It takes 25 minutes to do a proper pre-trip. It's always good to check your brakes, lights, and tires every single day. And excuse me. Making sure that you're making sure all your lights work, and making sure all your fluid's good. Make sure you got enough washer fluid, oil, coolant. Keep a spare bottle of each of those on your truck. I drive a Kenworth. My truck only takes 2 gallons worth of washer fluid, and I don't even go through that by the time I go for a service, because I don't use my washer fluid. I don't need it. Some other things I see out here on the road. I see people, cutting other truck drivers off, flipping them the bird, slamming on the brakes in front of them. Guys, that's road rage. Okay? And it's also can be considered attempted murder, because guess what? That guy in front of you may not be as heavy as you are. And guess what? Even if he's not as heavy as you are and you're 78,000 pounds gross weight with everything. Full of fuel, full of depth, full of reefer. You know, doesn't matter what you're hauling, dry van, reefer, flatbed, RGN, step deck. It doesn't matter. Give the trucker some space. That goes for you cars too. You guys don't leave us enough space. And guess what's going to happen? Your kids are going to die if I hit you. Okay? If I hit you, that camera on the front of my windshield right there is going to show it. And you're going to be charged with attempted murder. Okay? Or aggressive driving. Because guess what? Your trunk's going to be in your back seat and your car's going to be totaled. Because I got a deer guard on the front of my truck. And it ain't going to have one little single scratch on it from your little tiny Prius. Okay? Just be fair warned. There's plenty of pictures out there to show. Okay? Another thing. About 2 years ago, I was up in Lodi, California, just outside of Sacramento. I was over there in just outside of Lodi, delivering my load, and it took them 36 hours to unload me, which is ridiculous because there was damaged freight. I had a young woman walk up to me asking me if I was wanting a good time. I told her, "No, ma'am, I'm good." And she sat there and said, "I know you want me in your truck, all this crap," and I told her, I sat there and said, "Ma'am, step away from my truck before I have to call the police." She walked away, called the police on me, trying to get me arrested, saying I wanted it. And I sat there and said, "I have a video camera while I was recording her. I will show you the footage. You can detain me until you look at that footage. I don't mind." She got arrested for prostitution. Okay? The justice system is crooked. It's the one thing, it's the one thing that people don't get. The justice system here is extremely crooked. Okay? You get dirty cops all the time. Dirty way station cops. I've had my run-in with a few of these cops, and I'm not a fan of them, honestly. I have utmost respect for the law, the police. All they're trying to do is keep our roads safe. I'm sorry, but some of y'all out here on the road have had a bad day, had a bad driver who's giving you hell. Okay? Totally get it. Don't let that crap bother you. Okay? I'm just trying to do my job just like everybody else. And guess what's going to happen? My job is not going to get compromised just by you. I'm going to treat you with the utmost respect. I ain't going to freak out on you. I know I'm just trying to do my job just like everybody else. Okay? That's it. Okay? The other things I would like to prepare you guys for. I'm going to do a part 2 to this, and then we'll end it right here at 19 minutes. But, just keep your stuff clean, keep everything clean, and we'll do a part 2 here right now.